Friend, if you are ready to find victory, freedom, peace, and joy when it comes to your relationship with food, your body, yourself, weight, diets, the scale, and so forth, then I am so excited that I am bringing back my free Food Freedom Challenge for you. So on March 21st to 27th, I will be hosting this challenge. I only do it like once or twice a year, and it's going to be a marvelous, just spectacular week of really breaking through in some areas that I believe have been holding us back as women from really loving ourselves, taking care of ourselves, and believing nice things about ourselves. So listen to this episode to learn more about why you should join us for this free challenge, and even a little bit more about how I plan to support a few women afterwards who are ready for that one-on-one support through my 90-minute Food Freedom Intensive. So listen in, share this episode with a friend, share the episode to sign up for the challenge, and just join me. Join me for this spectacular, transformational week together. All right, enjoy the episode. You're listening to the More Than Your Weight podcast, and I am Brianna Wilkerson, your host. You know, over half my life, I really struggled with my relationship with food, my body, and myself. I was constantly finding my worth in my weight, in what I did, in how I looked, and how other people saw me. And healthy living was just about getting that affirmation. But when I started to see that my worth and my health was so much more than my weight, I found breakthrough. Yes, my body got to a weight that it really thrived at, but more so than that, I loved myself. I took care of myself and I cared for my body in the way that it needed. And I am on a mission to help other women do the same. And so through this podcast, my programs, my group, I really am on a mission to help other women find peace with food, feel confident in their bodies again, and develop healthy habits and a lifestyle that's so much more than about their weight. So I'm so excited to journey with you on this podcast where you'll find solo episodes, guest interviews, and an occasional essential oil episode from time to time. But before you leave, I want you to do a couple things. Make sure you join my Facebook group, More Than Your Weight Women's Community, where you can unpack these episodes, get weekly trainings, monthly challenges, and a lot of support. But also be sure to hit subscribe and rate and review this podcast, because guess what? I want to make sure this podcast pops in your inbox every single week. But then if you are on Instagram, make sure you follow me there, because I show a little bit behind the scenes of my business and my own health journey. So I'm so excited that you're here. Can't wait for you to listen to this new episode. But also, again, just know that you are so much more than your weight. Your health and your worth is so much more than your weight. All right, enjoy the episode, and I hope to talk to you soon. Hey friend, happy Tuesday if you're listening to this. When it comes out on Tuesday, I am so glad you are here for another episode of the More Than Your Weight podcast. And I today want to specifically talk about and invite you to this free challenge that I do only maybe I think twice a year, that is fundamentally one of the core areas that I believe if you want to walk in your More Than Your Weight journey and find peace with food, you need to do, and that is food freedom. Really, what is food freedom, right? But also, like, what are the different elements that when you really pay attention to those areas and work at them together, you can find peace with food. You can find confidence with your body, and you could truly live that More Than Your Weight life. All right. And that is my Food Freedom Challenge, which is coming up in 2 weeks, March 21st to 27th. I am doing it live with live sessions every day, trainings every day, worksheets every day, and a lot of Facebook group support. So this is something that I love doing. This is actually my favorite. I have 2 favorite challenges, my Food Freedom Challenge and my Healthy Habits Challenge. And because those are the two fundamental areas that I support clients in, as well as, of course, the areas of soul and life. So I just want to talk more about this challenge, how this challenge even came to be, like what drove me to create not just these challenges, but these pillars of food freedom, how I support my clients in that, and then why you should do this challenge. It's free. For one, it's free, but 2, I do think if you really commit just 7 days, commit 7 days to really getting deep into understanding why, what are the beliefs, what are the thoughts that are like really driving your relationship with food, your body, and yourself in particular, you can find a lot of freedom. So the reason why I call it food freedom, that's a term that's just been around for a while in the last 2 or 3 years. And I just couldn't figure out what else to name it. But I really started to think about when I reflect on my journey of health, when I reflect on the work that I help clients through, it is this idea of liberty, this idea of victory and freedom around how they view food, how they interact with food, and how actually they've come to love food instead of hating food and really seeing food as a foe or a friend or whatever, just putting it in its rightful place. And as I started to reflect more on the different areas that really contribute to our relationship with food, I started to unfold and see that there are 7, including food. So there is your relationships with diets, your relationships with the scale or your weight, then yes, your relationship to food, your relationship with your body, your relationship with yourself, your relationship to exercise, and your relationship with how you process your emotions. Because when you look at all of those areas, you will see the connection between how you view food, how you treat food, and the other area. So for example, if you do not feel like you are enough, if you feel like you have a really poor relationship with yourself, you see yourself poorly, you just think whatever, like you're just not enough, you don't do enough, or just whatever you might feel, that's going to impact how you then view your body, right? That's going to impact then how you feel emotions. That's going to impact then how you move your body, how you handle and you approach food, how you look at diets, which are like just all around there, right? And how you view the scale. Like if you don't have a good relationship with yourself and how you view yourself and what you believe to be true about yourself, then you're going to search in those other areas to try to fix yourself. And you're going to approach them from not a place of like, I want to try a diet to see what foods work best for me, or I want to exercise because I feel great and strong and healthy, or I want to eat nutritiously because it really thrives in my body. You're going to be, no, I want to do a diet to fix my body and be at a certain place so that I feel better about myself. Or I want to eat salads or something like that because that's a good food, right? We label foods good as bad. And that's going to help me get to where I should be, or I'll be a good girl then, whatever. Like, and if you just followed with me with that train of thought, your reasons, your motivations, and your why for taking care of yourself and how you interact maybe with those others areas is deeply impacted by one another. If you view diets as the only way for you to eat nutritiously and healthy, then you're going to feel shame or guilt when you're not on that diet. So then you start to see food as good or bad, which is not good, because guess what? You want to enjoy certain foods from time to time. But if you tell yourself that's a bad food, then guess what? Again, you're just going to feel shame and guilt, which I want. My goal in life, just so you know, the primary work I feel called to do, when I feel called to women, I feel called for them to know their worth and to start treating themselves worthy and lovingly, and what they say and do about themselves, do to themselves. All right. And so this deeper work, it is about food, but it's about so much more, right? It's about food freedom. It's about worthiness. It's about knowing that you're enough. It's about really diving deep into like, how do I want to show up in the world, and how do I want to treat myself, and really making a decision in those other areas. Diets, the scale, food, body, yourself, exercise, and emotions. When you can lay some foundational, healthy beliefs that serve you, beliefs that uplift you, the beliefs that grow you, the beliefs that lovingly challenge you and make you feel worthy and enough, then we can look at the actions of what it takes to take care of your body and you in your life. So many women want to just focus on what they're doing. What can I do, right or wrong? Which I hate that right or wrong mentality, black or white. What can I do to make sure that I'm reaching my goal? What can I do? And you practically need to do things. I just ran a Healthy Habits 30-day program. And of course, in my one-on-one work with clients, we do all of this. We do mindset and habits. We do both, because you can't have one without the other. But the foundation of any good habit or good action is your belief, is your why, is what you believe to be true and how you relate to the certain areas. And so when you come and do something like this food freedom challenge, or you come and do this food freedom intensive that I have, my 90-minute intensive, or you work with me for 6 months, you will start to see and find so much peace. You will start to find so much victory, liberty, and joy in how you take care of yourself and how you view yourself. And so this food freedom challenge is not just like, come do this free thing and then, maybe eventually if you want to buy my paid thing, which I do believe there's a lot of great value in my free thing, but I believe there's even more great value in my paid thing because you get that one-on-one support. But I just don't want you I don't want you to miss out on either, really. I want you to just say yes to this food freedom challenge. And if it's a fit for you, you could say yes to my food freedom intensive if you want, or my 6-month program, whatever. Because listen, ladies, you need support. I need support. I emailed my coach just this morning about support about something because I've been wrestling with something for a long time. And I just was like, I just need to voice it and I just need to get support around this area. And I'm constantly reaching out for support because we're not meant to do this alone. So whether that's a free thing, whether that's a paid thing, I just think it's time. It's time we dedicate the time, the resources, the money, and the energy towards our health, towards our well-being, towards ourself. Because if you don't do that now, if you can't dedicate time, you won't dedicate money. And if you can't dedicate time or money, you won't dedicate energy. So it's time. It's time to invest time, money, and energy towards yourself. And I really think laying the foundations of these beliefs around food, your body, diet, scale, exercise, emotions, and yourself will really help you do well in pursuing your goals, your health goals, and changing your actions. All right. So this 7-day experience it's an experience. It's not just an event. It's not just a quote unquote challenge. It's 7 days of transforming the way, starting that process. It takes a long time. If you took decades to uncover certain beliefs, then it's going to take a while to uncover those beliefs and shift those beliefs. But you can when you give yourself that intentional time. And so let's start that process together. Join me for this free 7-day challenge where together we are going to look at those 7 different areas. And we are together really going to ask ourselves, okay, what does it mean? What does my version of food freedom mean? What does it mean to look at my history with diets and see what parts of that served me, which parts of that didn't? How can I put the scale and weight in its proper place and start celebrating these non-scale victories? How do I start to see food as fuel, not as a friend or foe? How do I learn to love and celebrate my body? How do I start believing that I am enough? How do I exercise from a place of love for my body? How do I understand my emotions, learn how to feel them, and understand how they are impacting my food choices in my life, right? We just talked about emotional eating last month in my webinar and on the podcast, right? And so each day you will have a mini short, I think it's about 4 to 5 minutes training and some reflection questions based off of my Food Freedom Journal, which is a free resource you can get at any time. But we're using that resource to actually kind of do some coaching and some training this week. Then I'm going to be going live roughly around 12 p.m. every day. There's going to be 1 or 2 days where I have to go earlier or later to expand upon one area of expand upon diets or expand upon, your relationship with food and really address a particular pain point in that area. And really, you can join me live or watch the replay, but those are going to be a great space to kind of debrief and ask questions. And of course, there's Facebook group support. My More Than Your Weight women's community is a beautiful space where whenever you go through the training or the live or just your aha moments and takeaways, share them. Because the more that you share, 2 things: other people are encouraged, other people have takeaways, but 2, you could possibly win a free 30-minute coaching session with me. So the more that you share is the more chances you have to win that one-on-one session as well. And so if you're ready to just really get to the core, to start that process. So again, it's not going to all happen in 7 days, but get to the core of what it may be causing you blocks in your version of food freedom or for your version of health, then I really think you should do this challenge and share this challenge with a friend. I do not believe we should withhold anything good to ourselves. We should at least tell one other person. And that's why I started my business, because I actually literally found a lot of freedom in so many areas. And I just was like, the world, every single woman needs to hear about this stuff. Okay, so please join me for the Food Freedom Challenge, March 21st to 27th. If you go to madewell345.com/food freedom challenge, or go to the show notes, you can sign up, enter your name and email, watch the welcome video, learn more about it. But join the group, and then, we'll go from there. And I am offering a special discount on my 90-minute one-on-one food freedom intensive this month to really support a few women, 3 to 4 women like that. That's the amount that will get this discount, actually. So I might take on more, but first 3 to 4 women who come will get this discount to really get that one-on-one support in not just learning concepts, but actually being able to be coached one-on-one in a private space and process your specific blocks, your specific hardships, the feelings that you may have in some of these areas. And then we will create, yes, practical things you could do, mindset work, a customized plan for you to really break through. And so if that is something you're interested, you're like, okay, I want to do the challenge, plus I want this one-on-one support, and I want giving 25% off your Food Freedom Intensive, then please go ahead and book a clarity call. This is a 20-minute call where we could just talk about where you're at, where you want to be. I can answer any of your questions, and we can go from there. Okay? Or maybe you're like, I just want to do it. Send me the link. Message me and I'll send you the link to the Food Freedom Intensive. All right, so grateful for you. I really hope that you will join us the 21st to the 27th for this Food Freedom Challenge. Reach out in my Facebook group, More Than Your Weight Women's Community, if you have any questions, or on Instagram at madewell345. And I hope to see you on the 21st. All right, have a good one. Well, I hope by now I've convinced you that you should join us for this Food Freedom Challenge. And, I just think it's going to be a beautiful week. It's going to be a beautiful week of a lot of transformation, liberty, freedom, peace, and just starting to break through in these areas that so many of us have struggled with for a long time and are just wondering why things aren't shifting and moving. And also, if you are interested in really getting that next level support, or even curious to see if that is a fit for you, I would love to talk with you on a clarity call, free complimentary clarity call, just for you to get clear on whether or not this Food Freedom Intensive that is discounted for this month is for you, because I only have a few spots at the discounted price. So I want to really support the women who are ready. And, even if you're like, Brie, I want to get this discount, and plus I want to do the challenge, then you just got to reach out, and so we can make sure you get your spot saved. Okay, have a beautiful day, and I hope to see you in the Food Freedom Challenge, and I hope to talk to you on a clarity call. That's a wrap. That's another episode of the More Than Your Weight podcast. I hope you're leaving encouraged and inspired and empowered to go out there and know that your health and your worth is so much more than your weight. So before you go, again, do a couple things. Make sure you join my Facebook group, the More Than Your Weight Women's Community, where there are daily posts, weekly trainings, and just a lot of support to unpack these episodes, as well as get support in your More Than Your Weight journey. Make sure you also follow me on Instagram, where I show my behind the scenes of my own health, but also just how I care for others along the way. And then make sure you subscribe, and rate and review this podcast, because more women will see that, but also you'll get new episodes every single week. All right, I'll see you on the next episode, and can't wait to support you more.